We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a topic stream, another topic stream covering another topic that I covered not long ago. Make sure sounds good real quick. Hold on. I'm over 20 seconds in. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Make sure we're good here. Hold on a second, ladies and gents. Let me hop on here and make sure we've got sound. So hold on. Let's see. Test. We good? Okay, we're good. We got sound. We're good. We're good. All right. So today is a topic stream. I am your host, Silly Dilly, Dylan Walker, whatever you want to call me, the knucklehead, whatever y'all want to call me. But today is a topic stream. So if you see the topic stream today, the topic is the little things in a small town that matter. I was doing a little more exploring today and noticed some things that kind of, that caught my attention, that they got me thinking, but also they always pull your heartstrings, but it also gives you more reasons to love and be in a small town, but also realize some of the things that you might have missed as a child that you didn't quite catch till you're older. So let's get to that. Now, every small town has a corner store, dollar store, a gas station, some sort of little bargain store somewhere, even a little small supermarket, or grocery store, whatever you want to call it, or even a farmer's market. Heck, I ain't seen one of them. I haven't never seen one of them before. It'd be cool if I did though. So let me tell you, the little things around here, people do help each other in the communities. Like, it's good to see that there's more communities where people are helping each other and reaching a hand out and helping each other. And people know each other by name, by face. And a lot of times, a lot of people moving in and out, and sometimes those familiar faces that you used to know are gone. So it sucks that those familiar faces and familiar names that you used to know are down the corner or down the road or just across the street from you or just a couple miles from where you knew everybody by name, by face. It was the it was the thing. What up? It was the thing that matters in a small town. A lot of times you don't see that anymore. And then it's always cool to see maybe fathers and sons and fathers and daughters trying to teach their little ones to maybe learn how to push a mower and mow yards. I mean, that's something you don't hardly see much anymore. And a lot of times you see more like fathers and sons and daughters, they're all out here teaching each other stuff. They're out here teaching each other's they're out here oh, there's Jaden. What's up? Did you get my message earlier on Discord? But they're always out here teaching each other stuff. Like mowing, maybe working in the flower bed, maybe learning to use a tractor, maybe learning to fish, maybe learning to maybe learn how to turn their first wrench, or you know what I mean. When they turn their first wrench, or what else? maybe learning to plant their first plant, planting a flower, or maybe starting to learn how to plant a garden, at a young age. It's the things like that that matter. And stuff like that you don't hardly see much anymore of. I wish there was more of it around, Some stuff, you learn and you want to be able to pass it on to your kids. And hopefully later on, when they're older in life, they'll teach them skills and that way of life to their kids, which someday could be that individual's kids, that the parent of that kid could be a grandparent to those kids. And learning the life values and the morals and the things that we were all brought and raised up on. Cultivating weeds. Oh, okay. Pulling weeds. I was always taught it was called pulling weeds and all that stuff. Just on the way coming home and stuff, there's this father and his little girl. They're out pushing a lawnmower, and I was like, dude, That is adorable. But it's good to see that because you don't really see that much. But it melted my heart. I was like, I looked, I waved, I gave him a thumbs up. I'm like, keep teaching them young. Because, you know, my dad tried to teach me how to my dad, my old man tried to teach me how to use a ride mower. I couldn't do it. So what he was trying to do was trying to teach me how to use the ride mower, shift gears and stuff, keep it in the first. And I was trying to turn it into like the double gateway we had in our old house. I ended up hitting the first pole where that gate closes in and out. I ended up hitting the wheel on it. And I had a hard time trying to get it in. I think I was about 7, 8 years old. I think 7, 8 years old when I was learning how to do that. I do know how to use a push mower now. Now that's cool. Now here's another thing. Out here in small towns, there's always a guy, they're probably riding around on the roads. You know, old George Jones did this when his wife freaking took away his keys on all his cars. Since he couldn't go to the bar, that's why they called him No Show Jones or the Possum. Every time he was always drunk, showing up. So, a lot of times you'd see like these older guys or maybe some younger people out here on lawnmowers riding to one house to another just to go mow yards to go make a little bit of money. I've seen that a time or two here, but you don't see that very much now anymore. Now, maybe where I was originally from, you probably would. From where I'm originally from, you probably would. Jade, I hope you're doing all right, man, and hope you're going good on your deliveries. So like I was saying, you know, you don't hardly see that much anymore. But I'm sure it's still around. It just depends on where you go. I'm probably just maybe referring to like, I might have been in this town for a long time, you know, just a lot of things where I used to be from, you don't hardly see it much anymore. But you'll still see people pushing push mowers and stuff down the road, because I've done that a time or two to go mow yards and stuff. I've done that, and it's always cool. It's always cool, you know, to do stuff like that and help people. I always like to help people. That's the one thing I'm always wanting to do and inspire to do, and keep trying. You know, make a name for myself out here, and create my own legacy and follow in my own footsteps and not following others, but make a good example of myself and live who I said I was going to be all these years. Also, I found a couple, as many times as I've been on this road, there's a road out here that's, alright, Jaded, careful out there. I seen a road where there is, I think it's maybe 2 acres at that. I think 2 acres of land, because it stretches out pretty far. It's got that wired fence and the post and all that. They had 2 tractors. They had a decent sized thing where if they wanted chickens or goats or anything they wanted in there, they could put them in there. Cause I mean, they've got the space and they've got the stretch of land to do it. And I don't think anybody would tell them no. So I mean, they're kind of out there in the woods, and by the way, that's where I was at, Jaded. That's where I was at. Now down further, there's another house. There's another house on here on the left, like the other house I'm talking about, that you go straight, just past the one with all that big land, down past it that you see on the right. Then there's another house on the left that's got some big open space too. Now, when you go down a little further at the end of the road, I seen a couple chickens, a goat, and I saw a couple chickens, some goats. I even tried to go, bah, trying to get a goat's reaction. I failed miserably at doing that. But it would have made a good video if I would have captured the one little goat that was loose around here. There's a little goat that somebody had and it was loose. People were filming it and I just passed on by, paying it no mind. I would have recorded it, but I didn't. I just sat there and thought it wouldn't make a good video, so screw it. Trust me, the little things around here that matters, you know. But also the little things another little thing I can talk about is where everybody used to, you know, everybody passes by and waves at each other. 2-finger wave, finger wave, the hand wave, or the non-wave. People just look at you. But there's different meanings of that wave. I'd have to find that video and post it if I find it again. But everybody around here that's just the way everybody is around here, you know. That's the hospitality and that's the way people are. You still say yes sir, no ma'am. You still hold the door for a lady. You still say prayer. Steak and A. People still go around here volunteering to maybe mow yards or help out some of the elderly around here. I'm seeing that a lot. And also, you know, when the community, when like a bad disaster strikes, a lot of times the community will come together and help one another out. And that's something that I've been seeing as well, that I've mentioned at the beginning. But it's always nice to see that stuff. And I've also noticed that there's certain yards that have like an American flag out in the front with a pole. That's crazy. It's always cool to fly American pride, though, for real, for real. I always think it's fun to do these little streams like this. If I ever was to take and redo these, I'll probably chop this up and maybe one day post it with some pictures, so you guys get an idea. But I kind of just tell a story and you guys kind of just use your imagination and picture it. That's what I do. But I don't know what else to talk about except that I've also noticed now that they got security cameras now up on the street poles, not street poles, up on the traffic light poles now. Plus, they've got a they've also got the little curb street light now on top of them. Things are changing around here faster than you could say. What the heck just happened? You notice it. You'll begin to notice it just every ounce. You'll notice some changes around here. A lot of things change, day in, day out. Small towns change and they get bigger. If rich people come in, they buy this town, and they'll do everything they can to map it out and add extra housing and whatever else they want to do, and make it a bigger town. This is a 500. This is like a 1,000. This is actually a 1,400 population town. So. It is a small town, unlike the one where I originally came from that I miss a lot, but that town slowly lost a lot of people in population, which sucks. But, what can I say? A lot of things evolve, a lot of things change. That's the way of a small town, but here's a lesson to you guys out here, you know. Here's a lesson to all you guys. Appreciate all the things in a little town, man, because once they're gone, they're gone. There's no going back. Your good old boys will probably be gone. The hospitality, the manners, probably all be gone in 20, 30 years. So do what you can to keep it around. Do what you can to keep that way of life around and not gone, because if it fades away, it's a scary sight. Hey, Tex, I ain't seen you in a minute. I could do a stream on that, covering that, if anything. Not right now, though. Yeah, like I said, remember to respect those ways of life, because once they're gone, they're gone. And never forget where you come from in a small town. Especially if you just look for a quiet way of life to get away from all the crazy noises like in the city or anything like that. You just want a piece of life and be able to settle down and find a place to start your own life and family and raise kids, you know. And have an own piece of heaven, just so you can get away from nonsense and not be so stressed out, and at least be able to be around friendly, kind faces that know everybody through name, by name, and by face. But yeah, that is my topic for today. The Minecraft movie. I've seen a lot of the memes on it, and I've seen where people go absolutely crazy, like Chicken Ducky, yeah! I've seen that. Because of the Minecraft memes and stuff, or Lava Chicken, Ender Pearl, Flint and Steel. Yeah, I've seen all that. I'll cover that in a later stream, probably on here. If anything, I will catch you guys later. Please, everybody, have a good one, and thank you guys for listening. Silly Dilly out.